right, ladies and gentlemen, we already have a lobby set up. And it looks like, wow, they're actually just heading in. All right, I'll show you the bracket, and they'll show you the maps, and then we'll jump in. So once again, although it doesn't appear to be up to date, let me give it a quick refresh, see if I can fix that, even though I know something's going to break, and I know exactly what it's going to be. Do that, and then interact to deal with the thing that will pop up at the bottom. Oh, no, it didn't pop up this time. That's nice. All right, well, it isn't up to date anyway. But once again, we are jumping into Forge Esports versus Quaranteam. And now, by the way, Winterheart is not playing in this game as Zariel is going to be playing in instead. I don't know if that was a sub because someone was late or just a temporary sub as it was, but there is a roster change on the side of Forge Esports heading into this next game. Sounds good. Here are the maps. While we wait for first picks to come in, Forge Esports banned out the Dragonshire and Sky Temple, whereas Quaranteam removed Brax's Holdout and Tomb of the Spider Queen. And those are our bans, as we're going to be heading into the draft just in time for the first ban to be made. And it is going to be, the first ban is made. Alright, let's get this going. So, we're on the board. Forge Esports now. With their first ban of the game. With May removed. It's Infernal. It's not the biggest map, so I doubt we're going to be expecting too many shenanigans. I'm going to be seeing the Cassia removed to start us off. Excuse me, my throat has been terrible recently. Cassia taken out nice and easy. What do we see now? With May gone, Cassia gone. Do we see an amp of the ban? It's not the biggest on this map. If not, Tass is still very popular. Would be a very sensible removal. It's going to be Stukov, actually. Alrighty, interesting. So that could still open us up to a potential... words are hard. Could still open us up to a potential Bloodlust composition. They just don't want that counterplay. Or they just want to play Decken and they just like Stukov. They think it's strong. They just want to get rid of it. Make sure that they don't get in trouble. Now then. Going to be seeing the Ana banned out as well. Very support-heavy bans coming in from these teams. But it's up to Quaranteam now. Where are we heading for them? With Quaranteam on the board. And they have Decker Kane available. Tassadar is available. They're going to pick Decker Kane up first. It's a full tank roster, excluding May. May, who was kind of ignored in the last series, makes her way into the bans this time. Where are we going next? With Forge Esports having their ban coming up. I had to change the title, by the way. Let me do that while they pick. Gonna be that Tassadar, as we would expect. He's still one of the top assassins. And we're gonna see the ETC coming in as well. ETC always a very strong option. That's the first tank choice. This means Johanna suddenly jumps very high up in priority, but so does ETC. Sorry, so does Diablo. Diablo is also still quite strong. They could try and bust that in. It's going to be that Diablo, and there's Greymane. So with Diablo, Deckard, and Greymane, they now have a very hard dive comp. Drop rubies. Diablo, Greymane goes in. Drink rubies. Forge Esports now with the bans. What do you ban from this? Maybe an offlaner like Sonya for extra DPS and power on the objective. They're going to ban Maiev. This is more of a target ban here against Quaranteam, who do play a very good Maiev, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Good chance I'm not. Let's see. Final ban of the game, Quaranteam with Tass ETC on the board. Healer-wise, could be a Rhaegar. They're going to ban Blaze, removing extra stuns and more survivability from a Diablo engage. Diablo is one of those heroes who'd be able to survive the initial power push and potentially flourish. Forge Esports now. With their third and fourth picks, they get the Urel and they get Tychus. Tychus, of course, with the ability to gain armor when he gets stunned out, which is an invaluable talent against Diablo. Going to be a very big deal here. And Urel, lots of disengage, lots of split push. Solid stuff coming in here. Now, Quaranteam. Last two picks, off lane, second damage. Who we need? Jaina was a good choice here, and Leoric. Their percentage damage. Leoric and Tomb going to be very good for trying to deal with Tychus. Both of these heroes, fantastic on the point. Going to add some extra AoE to help contest with Tychus and Tassadar, who will be very hard to deal with. Final pickup here. Support hero needed. Rhaegar, Anduin. I probably wouldn't say Alexstrasza. That would be very risky. They could go Uther here and go for a very hard tank line. They're going to go with Whitemane. Area control. I even think this is probably going to be a Divine Reckoning Whitemane. They could go for the armor with the Scarlet Aegis. But I think the Divine Reckoning with so many melee heroes is going to just give them so much healing output. The value's there either way. We'll have to see which way they go. This caster is so cute. Jixie with the 69 bits. This caster is so cute, but Jixie isn't streaming on this channel. Not today. Alrighty, so these are our drafts. The burst power definitely in favor of Quaranteam, I'd say, but there's a very solid fight control composition for Forge Esports. Quaranteam are going to be coming into this as the favorites. I'm jiggling the camera with my knee. But overall, I'd say I lean a little bit more towards Quaranteam just because they have a much better team fight. But if Tychus can kite well, and if Whitemane gets some of the good turnaround fight of a good mosh pit, if Deckard or Diablo aren't in the way, because those are the only two mosh interrupts. If those two don't get in the right position and get caught in the mosh pit, then Tychus and Tassadar will easily do enough damage to actually kill people. Assuming they go for the right talents and Tassadar gets stacked, then they will have enough damage to actually kill people, and they should be able to make something happen there. But otherwise, there could be trouble. Overall, should be a fun game as we're loading into Infernal Shrines very shortly. Excuse me. Alrighty, let's get this going, ladies and gentlemen, as we head in to Infernal Shrines as our first game of our second series of the day. And on the left-hand side, it is going to be Elite Tauren Chieftain, played by Tenidakiel, Showtime on the Tychus, Funds on the Urel, Valamar on Whitemane, and Azariel playing instead of Winterheart here on the Tassadar. I still don't know what the sub-situation is with that, but we do have a swap. Whereas on the right-hand side, by the way, they are Forge Esports. On the right-hand side of this Quaranteam, with Weary Day on the Deckard Cain, Carbon on the Jaina, Chuggy on ETC, Unaverted on the Greymane, and Cookie Man gonna be playing on the Leoric. Let's get this rolling. We're gonna be having a field study Deckard, very standard. Whitemane with Pity the Frail. This is the go-to talent, and yes, Task goes for Static Charge. Interesting, Urel goes for Light of Carabor. Increased healing coming in here. Urel looking to get stuck in, surrounded by enemies. This is per enemy, not just enemy. It is enemy heroes. One-on-one heroes here. Yeah. So it's only hero reliant. See if that works out for him. Yeah, Whitemane's gone for cooldown reduction, which is the main idea here. Cooldown that discipline and really get the value. Sorry, cooldown Inquisition, not Discipline. That's a different talent. And a different game. Fun's going to be dueling Cookie Man up here. Leo actually has a really tough lane up here. Unforeseen situation to arise here to attend to. That is a shame to hear. As we do see Cam being taken. I'm glad they were able to find a replacement, though, so quickly. ETC, he charged the minion to try and get the better overpower, but he could have maybe hit ETC into the wall, just didn't have the right angle for it. As such, Tenidakiel will get out of danger. By the way, Diablo Soul, we've already mentioned the Soul Shield, but this does mean we're not going to see the usual Diablo build that's become the meta, which, once again, I say this every game, I told people this was the meta for a year and a half. He received no buffs to those talents, and people still didn't listen to me until about a month ago. Finally. Unaverted, gonna burn through Tenidakiel. Funds comes back in, risky, but heals up with that level 1 talent. Down goes Cookie Man, first blood on the board as they look for Tenidakiel for the second, but the healing output is good enough here. Unaverted dropped low, has to roll away with the disengage. And it's going to be a 1-4-0. Going to be seeing everyone heading down to bot lane in terms of the assassins to grab as much experience as possible. Fun's already on the way up top lane. Look at the speed making the way up. Seeing the same build as before. Plasma Shield coming in for the Tassadar. Carbon getting completely cut off there. Beautiful gang coming in here from 4G Esports, picking up the second kill of the game. 2-0. 4G Esports popping off in this qualifier. Did we see Bruiser Camp being taken? There's a bug in this room, and I want to kill it, but I missed it. Fun spots the Juggy. Just here for the wave clear, though. Gets thrown over. Not enough for a stun, though. Gonna see Impalers in the bot lane. Fallen Shaman in the top lane. Will we see a contested Fallen Shaman up here to be dealt with? It's going to be a Souls to the Flame for the Diablo, going for a maximum, going for the healing output, vowing to auto. Oh, Leoric going for Ghastly Reach coming in here. Cookie Man, extra radius here. Trying to contest, trying to slow, trying to retreat right now as he gets bullied out. Cookie Man is down again. 3 kills to 0. Wrap around, trying to catch anyone who's global soaking, but no one's here, so it's just a big push in bot lane with Jaina and Greymane. Some of the best structure damage in the game. They begin to deal with that Weary Day down here as well to keep everyone topped up. See if they can go further, maybe get themselves a fort as Showtime will clean up this Fallen Shaman camp. It's going to get the gate a little low, but not enough to actually finish it off. Leoric respawns. And they pile on the pressure. Finally, heroes have made their way down to bot lane to try and protect this fort, Valimar and Funz. Funz isn't here to kill anyone. He is here to cause mayhem and prevent this being taken. There's no way he kills anyone except Carbon if Carbon oversteps here. He's really just here to buy time and prevent this fort from going down. He's doing that beautifully. Look at this. He's forced a 1v3 where he will likely not die, especially with Valimar here. But he's been able to save the fort on just under 2/3 health while his team grabs the objective. And Carbon has actually overstepped here. They go quite deep for it, but Funz, again, unable to finish the job here. Intercession coming in for Whitemane. There's a kill coming in. Down goes Leoric once again. Cookie Man taken out. Dies in the 1v1 to Showtime. Showtime, by the way, went for in the rhythm. We have the Hammer on, usual talent these days, and the Martyrdom. Burst healing for Whitemane. It's really good against burst compositions like this. It's the go-to talent these days. Carbon chased down. Tenadakiel holds the line for the moment. Face melt. Gets caught by the aggro of the fort. Good intercession. Prevents the overpower. And the fort will live. No forts taken this game. Still 4 kills to 0. Try to convince me that wasn't a misclick. I assume you mean the Ghastly Reach? Because everything else actually looks pretty normal here, except for maybe Light of Karabor. Light of Karabor and Ghastly Reach are definitely out of the ordinary here. So we'll see. Overall, Light of Karabor has some value, but into Diablo it's super risky. Ghastly Reach, I'm trying to work out what would synergize with, because they don't have... It will synergize later with Exterminate, with Executioner, sorry. That's all I can think of. It'll synergize with Executioner, which means that Greymane will have a better shot at actually hitting multiple people. Deckard with Emerald and Ruby. Cool to see. Or, sorry, unless you mean Diablo, which again, this is a standard build. Not what I would have expected, but it's an okay... It's not the standard these days, but it's still an acceptable build. Cookie Man. Clearing out the lane. Fun's going to continue his double rotation. No Divine Reckoning here. We do go with the Scarlet Aegis, keeping it simple. I still think that Scarlet Aegis... It still looks squished. I don't know if it's just me, but that really does just look squished to me. I don't know what it is about it. Just looks very weird. Tenadakiel takes a little bit of damage. Fun's making the way up. Oh, it's Field Study level 1. Oh, you thought it was full gems. Yep, no, Field Study this time. Field Study Ruby. We have the Mosh Pit. Level 10. Finally on the line for Quaranteam. We have the Stay a While. We have Water Elemental and Entomb. Hidden talents for Diablo and Greymane. I would say likely Apocalypse because they have Stay a While and Listen. And also, I guess, Ghastly Reach would assist that as well. So this should probably be Apocalypse, and I would say this is probably a go for the throat game. Yes, the armor will be a pain, but honestly, you're already going to be having trouble killing Diablo as is. You might as well just run past him and try and get kills that way. There it is. Go for the throat. Tychus is going to do a good job of hopefully burning down Diablo. You don't need you don't need the Curse Bullet this game. Triton's going to be spawning in the bottom lane. It will be Mortar? Frozen. Okay, good to know. Cookie Man backing away. And wow, Drain Hope keeps him alive for a much longer time than we expected. Fallen Shaman Camp being picked up by the side of Quaranteam. This will help them de-push. Can you go AA Diablo against this team? The only issue I would say with it is there is so much CC. He's gone for Firestorm to play it safe. You absolutely can go AA Diablo, and it's going to be better against Tychus and against Whitemane because it interrupts the CC, it interrupts the Inquisition of Whitemane. But against the ETC and the Arel, it is debatable, which is why he has gone for the safer builds here, as we do see the pressure coming in. Tomb was used, which forced out the Ardent Defender from funds. And they put the pressure on. We're at the 55 stacks on Tassadar. They move forward, big route onto ETC, stay a while into with the Apocalypse. Then Tentadactyl is holding though, but Whitemane is deleted. The Aegis bought time. Tentadactyl power slides through the Drain Hope. Hopelessness, not enough for the kill, but Urel dies off to the side. They will take down Cookie Man, but that is a 2-for-1 here, and the one is Leoric. Tentadactyl has to back away. Zariel, though, looking for the angle. There's the Mosh. They're going to try and finish out Greymane here, but where's the damage? They're not focusing. Tychus is on Chachuggy. Zariel was on Greymane, and they're not killing either. Chachuggy tanks through. He holds on the rubies. They get ETC, and the lack of a call of the target has bit them in the ass. They steal the objective, but they don't even kill Greymane. They pick up another kills, and the kill count is now 6-4. The Punisher is spawned. Unaverted cannot step up here. It's going to be Carbon who eats the shot. Cookie Man has died. He tried to end onto Showtime, but in this case, not able to get it. Root comes out. This Punisher's causing a lot of chaos, actually. They burn through, and they will hold. 4 survives again. We're at the 10-minute, but we're just about at the 10-minute mark, and 0 forts have died. This might change shortly, as bot lane is going to be pressured by a siege camp down here. Mid lane will also be not pressured by a siege camp yet. Finally, one will be taken on the side by Unaverted. Actually, there's vision on him. He's still going to try it. Counter mercenary camp being taken. And Tentadactyl, sorry, going to be burning through this, try and prevent that fort going down. It's a race to see who gets the first fort, because there's a lot of low health forts. Oh, no, wait, the top fort went down. I missed that. Never mind. First fort is gone. I'm a blind boy. Counter Fallen Shaman Camp at the top lane. Finish that off. Power side, not landing. Tentadactyl. Pulled into the root. Intercession shuts down the root, but it doesn't shut down the Entomb. Tentadactyl holds the line, gets slept. Here comes the Apoc, but they're not going to achieve anything from this unless they can catch out Funds, who dives real deep. Has to burn Ardent Defender while the Drain Hope's on it, which will actually top him up very effectively here as Zariel comes in from the outside, trying to get some storms out here. But until they stack up and until they get level 16, the burst damage that Tassadar kind of needs here isn't actually available. They look for their angles. They burned Odin for that, and they find nothing. They do still have Mosh, though, and they have Archon. Going Team Transformers up in this. They push out bot lane a little bit more. They head back to the Soak. Funds is already up here in top lane. Cookie Man just arrives to counter Soak up here. And they're able to hold. Able to hold this nicely. They're going to put more pressure on. This will be cleaned out once again. We're going to be seeing the devastating charge. Yeah, this is the old build. It was never terrible. It just got replaced by the maximum meme build because maximum meme build turned out to be really good, seeing as most of the heroes these days are reliant on landing abilities to be mobile and survive, or landing abilities to actually do their damage. Tassadar, for example, Tychus, Jaina, Greymane even. Keeping them hard locked down gives them a very hard opportunity to actually get value in fights. Tychus with the sizzling attacks and the Neosteel coating. Maximum survivability Tychus. Zariel scouting the bush. Making sure he knows he can clear this. Funds has a lot of friends. But he's already out. Hand of Freedom speed boost. Got him out of danger before anyone was able to come near and shut him down. Tassadar saved bot lane. He's going to make his way up because they're going for the big play onto Carbon, chasing deep. There's the one-man Mosh. Apocalypse has to be burned, but Carbon will be finished off. They intercessions the Mosh to guarantee the kill, but it's not going to save Tassadar, but the Ardent defend the Scarlet Aegis will. Azariel tanking this beautifully right now, holding the line as Valamar is dropping huge healing outputs for this team. The Shockray comes out, and Leoric is dropped low. Cookie Man gets battered by Funds, and Jachuggy, body blocked away from his base. He is down. That's a 3-for-0 for Forge Esports. The Rubies, they do nothing. You cannot drink them. As we see this front wall gonna be taken out. The two-man gank onto Funds to try and get some value elsewhere on the map. Hand of Freedom is burned. Funds, he just heals up. He's gonna back away. He'll be fine over the wall. And with a fallen Shaman camp, Showtime, who will get stunned a little bit but not get battered into the wall, so he's fine. In the rhythm stacks being acquired, but there's a lot of pain coming his way. He has to back up. There's the Entomb stun onto Tenedakio, but they're going to try and tag through. Thank you, Gustav, for Prime for the follow as ETC. Tenedakio getting locked down, but he's being healed up beautifully by Valamar. Valamar running out of things to hit as Showtime has to back out with no health. Funds kills off Cookie Man in the backline, as in the meantime, as Ariel is finishing off the objective. There's the route onto the Ardent defendering Funds, who will be focused down and finished off, making that a 2-for-0, a 2-for-1, but the Punisher is taken by Forge Esports. Going to be pushing into the top lane. Sandwich Bag, thank you very much for the follow as well. Cookie Man continuing to gain vision, and it looks like this fort will finally die. Azariel comes out here, even going to tank it a couple hits, and the fort goes down. We're up to 105 stacks, and finally, Thermal Lance coming in for Tassadar. Finally on the board. This is what's going to allow them to blow up Diablo even more effectively here. This is going to be a big deal. They have Tychus already. This is gonna be fine. I realized I was arguing why Greymane should go for the throw while describing the composition of Forge Esports way earlier in the game. My bad, team. Yeah, go for the throw is going to be very effective here. There's some low health members. As long as they can get around the Aegis, they'll be fine. So, they burn through this nice and easy. A little bit of pressure on the bot lane. Looks like they might finally get their fort as well, making this a 2-for-1 fort game. Crayman even grabs the fountain while they're waiting for minions. They grab a fort, but here comes Forge Esports. They look to macro. They're just going to continue to push up top lane, and they go for the greedy camp. But they have vision, so they know it's safe. Even though it's a greedy play, it's an educatedly safe play. And as such, they're going to get the cat, they're going to go push bot lane, and they get Funds, who was thinking because he's Yarel, he's safe to make that play, but there's so much crowd control on the side of Quaranteam, when with the burst from Diablo, who's full stacked on Devastating Charge, that they're able to play around that really nicely, forcing the 4-man port out of Forge Esports. Leoric is now safe to clear this, because this is going to be a 4v4. He's safe to split push and race them to level 20, while this bot lane is being pressured, unaverted, pinging away with Quicksilver Bullets, keeps him a little bit further at range from Tenedakil, when he can pressure that a little bit safer. Impalers make their way in. Showtime trying to clear these, but can't step up to Jachuggy. He doesn't want to take the risk. And this will force the retreat, but Keep is weakened, and Leoric is able to clear up everything in this top lane. Quaranteam macroing their way back into this. Picking up that kill in bot lane was really good decision making. Next Punisher will be bottom lane, which is very advantageous for Quaranteam, but now level 20 is going to be available for both teams for this as well. We, of course, see Twilight Archon. We see Bob and Weave for Tychus, considering how much he's being engaged on. That makes a lot of sense. The Unstoppable on Scarlet Aegis, the Scarlet Crusade, that is a huge deal here. And that 50% more healing. Seraphim, very sensible for the Yarel. Doesn't want to get picked off. That Unstoppable is going to be a huge deal. And ETC, not going to pick yet. Torbus, Bolts, even Storm Shield and Death Metal will be value here. It's very much a situation of being able to be flexible and pick them up, whichever one becomes useful at the time. Whereas, on the side of Quaranteam, we're going to be seeing Hunter's Blunderbuss. They respect the elderly. That is going to be huge. Going to be a really big deal. That silence onto Tassadar and Tychus on the backline is going to be a huge deal. We see the Lord of Terror. Wintermute, no surprise there, and Buried Alive, no surprise there. Tenedakil in the trap position. He moves out. Doesn't pick 20 during that. hold position. Full wraparound coming in from Quaranteam to clear bot lane as well. Right now, objective in favor. There's Bolt picked up. Quick picked by ATC. Might have to use it quickly, actually. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Ancient Blessings was just burned by Decade as they move forward. Odin is available. Showtime trying to stay away from Chuggy, preventing himself from getting hit by a wall. These triangles from Decade, Scroll of Ceiling, very effective right now, holding the zone as they look for Chuggy. Percentage damage is landed. Funds, they push forward looking for the angle, but Tedakil is very separated from his team here. He's trying to get onto the squishy backliners, but as such, the rest of his team is being pressured by Diablo. Chuggy moves in. The Entomb with the silence. Apocalypse, big burst by Carbon with the Winter Mute, but they still dive into the backline with the Moshpit going to come out, but Tedakil's going to be focused down. He heals up though from the white, making him alive. Bolts over to Bottom Storm out to keep it going, making it a 2-for-1 as they somehow, one person survived in the Entomb through the Jaina damage thanks to Valimar as they get Greymane and they hold through it. Funds is deep. He looks for Carbon, cannot find the kill, but they tank their way through. Seraphim is burned. Punisher is taken by Forge Esports. Valimar 100% MVP of this game right now due to the insane healing output as they make their way forward. He kept whoever was in that Entomb alive and is going to allow them to turn this game, push through, and maybe claim the first keep of the game with this Punisher, which is going to be very healthy as they make their way forward. Forge Esports looking for the push here. Clearing this out. Punisher was delayed by a fountain, but it is now here. Looking for their angle. Dives onto Leoric. Wraith walks away. Nice and simple. Age of Blessings is burned. Extra damage in case anyone steps up, but the pressure's already being applied to the keep. Can they get this? Scroll of Ceiling continues to zone. Stun onto Leoric, but he got the Wraith Walk again. He survives, but Yrel's in the backline. Respect the only. Multiple members in Intercession is going to shut it down with the cleanse, with the incredible unstoppable for the Scarlet Crusade. They look for Chuggy. Power slide. Boom! With the hammer on. They pick up the kill. The Punisher is dead, but Twilight Archon is up. The Odin is up. And down goes the keep. And now with Diablo dead, he had no souls. They're going to try and end this with their Transformers. They move in. They try to pick this off. Weary Day is deep. He's gonna get picked off. The Rubies delay, but they cannot delay the inevitable. Tedakil backs out. Showtime's trying to kite. Here comes the Entomb trying to turn this. We see Tigers trapped inside, but Valimar tanks through beautifully thanks to the body blocking of Showtime. Carbon is zoned away. Tedakil is struggling due to the drained hope of Leoric. Ominous Wraith trying to hold them in it, but down goes Cookie Man. Carbon has no health. Unavert is doing everything he can to try and hold this, but the core shield is dropping. Diablo's up in 17 seconds. Jaina is back. Water Elemental with Winter Mew looks for Showtime, but another Scarlet Crusade already off cooldown as they look for Carbon with the body box, with the face melt, and Carbon is picked off. Unaverted, has nowhere to go. Diablo will be back soon, but that is going to be GG. Diablo cannot hold this. He's gonna drop APOC. They refuse to die. Unaverted, they can get one person low enough. Maybe they can get the go for the throat resets to set it up. There's one, but the core is already down as Zariel's uncontested, and that is game number 1 going over to Forge Esports. Scarlet Crusade, as it turns out, is a really good ability. Valimar, 100% MVP of that game, popping off in that game number 1. Turning that on its head. Healing output numbers, you can see 85,000 compared to Weary Day 64,000. And so much of that came from those late game team fights with that 50% extra healing on that Scarlet Aegis. The multi-man unstoppables. Turning this game on its head. Not just from the stuns of Diablo, but the silences of Decade, allowing them to hard engage to pick up the kill onto Diablo. That is incredible. Beautifully done. Tiger stopping the damage numbers because he was actually relatively unharassed that game. They really were able to sustain their way through that very nicely. So very good pressure there. You can see the 10 death Leoric. That's how much pressure they were just able to apply to him. He is literally over half his team's deaths. That is how much pressure they were able to get onto him. Leoric, one of the most survivable heroes. Of course, he comes back quickly, but that was a big deal. he was pressured a lot. He was doing his best, but he was unable to sustain through a lot of those fights. Let's have a look at the talents. I'm sure a lot of you will be wondering about the Rel builds especially. So the main idea here is to get Pity the Frail, which gives you the cooldown reduction on that Inquisition via Searing Lash, which then you combo with Subjugation and Shared Punishment later on. This is your main source of healing output. If you need burst healing, use the Martyrdom, and of course the Cleanse coming in as well. The Scarlet Eater is going to be your burst protection to try and, if you have multiple people in danger, to set those up. And once again, the Inquisition is your main source of actual healing output, especially once you have that chain for the Shared Punishment, where you can get that damage reduction and chain it to another hero, which is armor reduction, massive healing output. It allows you to take very solid fights. Tassadar, this seems to be the usual go-to build these days with the Plasma Shield and Arc Discharge. He seems to be the go-to. Multiple Storms coming out here. You still go with Oracle, because with Tassadar, you do actually have to stand still for your build a lot, and that 30 spell armor is no joke. Really cool to see here, and 12 healing per second. And that Thermal Lance percentage damage is a huge deal. On the other side, though, Jada with Machine Gun build went for the Northern Exposure for the extra burst, trying to set it off. Deckard with that Ancient Blessings, and he tried to turn with Roderick Staff. Didn't work out, but a solid attempt there. The Yorick, again, Ghastly Reach. He went for maximum healing with Consume Vitality and Ghastly Reach, but it did not work out in his favor there. He was focused down and was picked off a couple times, but I still like that he tried. It was a solid pickup, but he was just focused beautifully. That was Forge Esports playing well. I don't think that was Cookie Man playing poorly. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was game number 1 in our best of 3 series. Congratulations to Forge Esports, one step closer to making their way onto the semi-finals. Let's have a look at the bracket, see if we do have any results in any of the other games. Well, it doesn't even look like our first game's been updated, so it looks like this bracket is about usual for these qualifiers. Refresh the page one more time, see if we can get some value down there. Nope. Nope. Nothing. Oh well. No one wants to update the bracket for you, old Tetcher. But once again, we'll be finishing this matchup, and then once this series is finished, I'll be done for the night. But you can enjoy the semi-finals and grand finals on the Nexus Gaming Series channel tomorrow, where it will be the wonderful, the talented, and the beautiful Jinxie Cat casting the semis and the grand finals for you for qualifier number 3. We have a lobby set up. I will join it. That's the wrong button. I took you to the end screen instead of my face, but I fixed it. I caught it before we went too far. We're under control. Nobody panic. Jesus, they're ready already. I haven't even put in the map. I just got here, team. Hang on. Let me put this in. Alrighty, and this was picked by Forge Esports. Nice. Get in the course softly. Thank you for the clip, friend. Alrighty. So, I will let them know. Caster R. Alright, there's one person AFK, so I had a little bit of time anyway, so we're good. Let's have a look at the maps here. We are heading to Towers of Doom as our second map of this best of 3 series. Forge Esports, their map choice, Quaranteam opting for first pick and first ban. So far, Forge Esports, 100% pick and win rate. We're in this best of 3 series. Let's see if they can do it again. Whether they will be shut down. And Quaranteam take us to a game number 3. This is already a belter of a series. Quaranteam, really some signs of power and brilliance showing in that series. We'll see if they can turn it into a full win, make their way to the semi-finals, which I think might be the furthest they've gone. I don't know if they've made it to the semi-finals before. Hang on, I could check. Because even though NGS seems to delete their old tournaments for some reason after they're done, Liquidpedia doesn't. Don't know why they do that, though. Storm Division quals. Boom! Okay, qualifier number 2. Okay, qualifier 2. Qualifier 2. Forge Esports went out in round number 1 to Team Alexander. Qualifier 1... they went out in round 2 to VGM. So both times, actually, Forge Esports have lost to the people who went on to win. Now, that's interesting. That is very interesting, because that shows some strength, that shows some power in Forge Esports if they've only lost to the teams that went on to win. They didn't take a map off of VGM, but no one did. VGM clean swept their qualifier. Nice to see, but they also didn't take a map off of Team Alexander. So, already, they are about equal to how far they've got in a tournament before, but they're not in a position where they actually have something to prove now. Both the teams who have beaten them are out. Both of them are already qualified. This will be the furthest. Had some roster instability, and Tenny overslept last week. Damn, dude. Yeah, I mean, they have some roster instabilities today, apparently. According to the fact that Winterheart is gone now. Doesn't seem to make a difference for him. But yeah, if they win, this will be the furthest Forge Esports have gotten. And every team that has beaten Forge Esports is already in Storm Division. Is this the prophecy? Is this Forge Esports showing up and blasting their way into Storm Division now that all obstacles that have before them have already passed on to the Storm Division in the sky? I wish the player who is AFK would show up. Forge's Cursed is known. Oh dear. Honestly, if they lose again in the semis this time, then in theory, qualifier number 4, they should win the finals. But honestly, so far, again, let's put it this way: if they lose to Quaranteam or they lose to the winner of CPOG X versus We Take These, I think it is, if they lose to either of those teams and those teams go on to win the finals, then we need to start finding which betting websites are betting on Storm Division qualifiers and start just betting on whatever team beats Forge. Alrighty, we got ours ready. Looks like we're ready to head into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this rolling. Yes, you don't need to ask. Yes, you don't need to ask me. I'm always ready. Once I'm in, I'm ready. Alrighty, we're heading into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this going. It is game number 2 between Forge Esports and Quaranteam, who will be moving on to the semi-finals. They're playing against the winner of We Take These versus CPOG X Fan Club. Let's find out, as Towers of Doom is going to be our next map. Let's roll. Oh, that is wrong. That is the wrong bracket. I will update that for you, friend. But while I'm updating it, here's the bracket for you, for the sake of your convenience. But I'll update that bracket for you quickly, because it is wrong. My bad. Sorry about that. So yeah, there's your bracket. Enjoy it. While I quickly go to the Nightbot to change the bracket command. Log in. You haven't missed much. Vikings was banned. Keep you all up to date while we're there. Edit command. Paste new link. And submit. Boom. Bracket command is up to date. Command complete. Alrighty, to the draft. Cassia removed. Yep, we missed 2 bans. Very slow on these early bans, but that's fine. It certainly is a bracket, it's just the wrong one. From a very long time ago, actually. Going to be seeing Abatha banned away here. Removing that global potential. The Forge Esports have already showed they can heavy macro, even without the globals here. I mean, without Abatha Vikings. Vikings was banned and we missed it. Yep, but I did tell you. This also seems to be a theme versus Forge. I think Forge are a very global heavy team. Vikings and Abatha have been banned against them consistently. On the fly production, love to see it. Yup. I am production, producer, editor, caster, interviewer, host, sellout bastard. Sub to my channel. Support Quarantine. Support Storm Division. Exclamation mark Matcherino in chat. Buy my merch. Tassadar first pick. Tassadar first pick coming in from Quaranteam. Was very effective last time from Forge. Is still a very strong hero. Tascas the go-to assassin still at the moment for most teams. Analyst, yep, that too. Blaze and Greymane. Solid opening. Greymane still one of the top assassins as well, and Tass is gone. He can be picked over Tastar sometimes, and Blaze gives them a lot of flexibility into the rest of their draft. Is Chen a healer? No, Chen is not a healer. Johanna. And Sylvanas. Chen can actually fill a sort of pseudo second support role once you have enough to share, but it's nowhere near enough to call him a healer. Johanna Sylv is a very good assassin combo with Sylv Tass coming in. Johanna as a setup. Both of them have big AoE abilities with the Shadow Dagger, Wailing Arrow, Shock Ray, and Psystorm. So they have a good way to just follow up on all of Johanna's engages for Esports now with their next ban. With all this set up, I would say Deckard would be the ban. No, they're not. Oh, yeah, they're the first pick after, so they can just pick Deckard if they want. We see the Malthael removed. Malthael taken out. Quaranteam now. I would say it's probably a sensible ban for Deckard Cain. He is still very strong. Again, would set up and sustain Greymane Blaze. Diablo going to be removed, though. They want to remove that burst. Again, Tass Sylv. Tass stays very still for a long time. Sylv is relatively sustainable due to mobility, but is actually a little squishy, so could be focused down very nicely. Forge Esports. Now they have the Stukov, choosing to ignore Deckard completely. And there is Varian coming in. They ran Varian before, but last time they ran it with Tyrande. This time they bring out the Varian, and they can still 100% make this work with the silence underneath the taunt to guarantee it, and the big slow coming in for the weighted pustule. Excuse me. It's a solid setup. I like it. So what do we see? We see protection. We see Uther coming in here. That is 2 potential cleanses to turn this round against Forge Esports. The counter to their style already coming into play. And Zul, someone who could double soak against Blaze. Final pickup for Forge. And suddenly, a burst composition becomes a problem. With Uther on the board, heroes like Lunara and Gul'dan suddenly raise up in priority. Some people who can out-damage the healing of Uther. They're going to go for Hanzo instead, so they still bring out a little bit of burst. But this draft actually just became quite troublesome. That Uther is a really smart pick here. There's very little... There's now the Hanzo makes a lot more sense. It's very sensible as a follow-up to this because it has a lot of poke, and that's going to worry the Uther quite a bit and shut down the chase. Shut down Uther. Uther is going to be very low on mana for quite a lot of time. This is the main plan here. It's a solid idea. It's a solid idea. The Uther was a very clutch pick. The Hanzo was a reasonable reaction while still having enough CC to follow up on the Varian. I do like it. It is a solid plan. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the show, this is Nexus Gaming Series Storm Division. You can support the prize pool. Enigmatic Nunara. Nice to hear from you. Nice to see you. If you want to support the prize pool for the Storm Division, ! Matcherino in chat, and you can donate directly to the prize pool to support these wonderful players playing in Storm Division. If you want to support me, your caster, then there's just so many ways to do that. Subscribe to the channel, donate using the links below the stream, throw me some pocket change with some bits, or buy some of my merchandise or anything using my humble affiliate link. And if you want to support the Nexus Gaming Series, it's run by volunteers. Check out their Patreon. There's some cool rewards there. You can support them and show them your love. And my love is Heroes of the Storm as we head into the game. On the left-hand side, Forge Esports with Showtime on the Greymane. Tenadakiel going to be playing the Varian. Valamar is bringing out the Stukov. Azariel on Hanzo. And we have Funds playing the Blaze. They are Forge Esports. Whereas on the right side, it's going to be Quaranteam with Cookie Man on the Zul, Chuggy on Johanna, Carbon on the Nara, Weary Day on the Uther, And Unaverted playing the Tassadar. Fun story while we're here. I don't know why. I think it's just how I pronounced Uther reminded me of it. There was a big discussion. I did some work for Ubisoft a while ago, where basically I hosted one of their live events at Eurogamer, and basically I was the host on stream as we see it engage coming in for Tadadakia, but he will tank through. Good silence by Stukov, shuts this down. But there was literally an argument between several community managers from Ubisoft as to whether it's pronounced Ubisoft or Ubisoft. And there was a big argument amongst employees as to which one it was, as Carbon slowed, but no level 4 taunt yet. They're unable to get the lockdown. Let's actually have a look at some level 1 talents and talk about the game. We're going to be seeing Scatter Arrow with Simple Geometry coming in for Hanzo, maximum pokes and AoE damage to bully this Uther. Uther, by the way, has gone for Hammer of the Lightbringer, very standard here, but it does mean he's going to have to be autoing and stepped up, which means he is now Varian bait, with Lions more coming in for Varian, same build as last time. He will be going for taunts, and we have the low below extra damage because they're going for maximum burstage here, coming in for Stukov. It's going to be dropped now onto the Azul to, actually, they don't even need it, just punch him in the face. Just deal with him, the Stukov punch to finish him off. See a wraparound coming in, trying to prevent the rotation with the Forceful to try and focus him down. As Tedadakiel is focused. They are trying to get Carbon though. No level 4. Carbon has to use the Haunting Wave to get out of there though, as Azario wraps all the way around to drop him low, as Camps will brawl in bottom lane. Level 4 creeping closer for both these teams. Tedadakiel with no chill, stepping up to contest. But these shock rays from Unaverted up to 30 stacks already, fastest so far. As Tedadakiel, he has taunt now, but quick stun from Uther with that Pursuit of Justice gets him out. Azariel dropped low, and it's the bot lane mercenary fight is gonna be won by Quaranteam, with all 3 sappers making their way in. Their poke works out. Full tank build Zul, Grim Scythe, Shackler, cooldown reduction on the Bone Armor. He's gone for maximum tankiness. Eternal Retaliation coming in for the Johanna. Maximum crowd control. Keep them busy. Tass with the Electric Fence. Really trying to split this team in 2. That is so sensible, considering the entire team strategy is to just hard engage and bully. If you can split them, that hard engage is shut down. Very sensible. Going to be seeing explosive arrows. Minion wave clear as opposed to mercenary wave clear. Sonic Arrow sees this happening. Funds, many people coming in to say hello, but he will back away. Zul going to come and contest Funds up here, meaning this with Johanna moving up. This may turn into a 1 fight as they did root and they did silence Weary Day. Not enough for a kill yet. Ooh, Showtime goes deep, runs into Chuggy. Zul still brawling up here, trying to prevent Cookie Man from challenging. Cookie Man has given up and is going to instead come down to the mid lane to soak the experience. He will not be able to interrupt Funds, who will grab this. Carbon rejoins his team, doesn't want to be separated. And now, Cookie Man's going to begin to channel this, but he's left it so long. Funds could contest. Hanzo gets dropped. The focus came in. They were able to finish him off with the stuns from Chuggy and Weary Day. Taunt onto Uther. Silence is there, and that's some value out of the low below talent coming in. Funds comes in. Here comes Zul as well. Turning this into a 4v4. Level 7 hit for both teams here. Funds goes deep, gets rooted, coming in for Carbon, trying to finish him up, but they don't land a taunt as Carbon's going to be able to kite back, dropping Tedadakiel very low. Forced to back away. There's the taunt onto Zul. Showtime has to roll back though. Can't afford to take the risk as the Shockwave comes out. Shockwave, too much damage from Unaverted. Tedadakiel dropped so low, finished off by a skeleton, I think, as it goes down. It was in fact Tassadar Side Storm to finish the job. Azariel getting zoned away. With Weary Day back, this will be the bottom altar going over to Quaranteam, forcing Forge Esports to back away. Forge Esports on the back foot for the first time in all the games we have cast so far. And Quaranteam taking a lead. They have just under half a level lead, beginning work on their own siege camp. And they have a single altar lead, 4 shots onto the tower. Shots being taken. Again, burning their way through. Focus coming in onto Chuggy. Taunt comes out. Not enough for the kill. One sapper already taken here. They'll make their way in to begin to deal with that. Zul is pushing. Getting some value up in this top lane. Gonna let those sappers all in. They take down both towers. Charge in. Immediate Iron Skin. That's a long cooldown to burn, even with the cooldown reduction from Hold Your Ground. That's good. Value is gained. Dakiel charge. Taunt onto Zul, but he's caught in the root of Zul. Cookie Man trying to turn this round. Showtime rolling out with the disengage. And the burst doesn't seem to be here yet for Forge Esports, even before Divine Shield. They're unable to finish the kill on anyone they're really engaging on. It's 3 kills to 3 as level 10 is hit by Quaranteam. Putting this game on their backs and running with it. Quaranteam looking to take us to a game number 3 in here. Dakiel holding together. Unaverted, looking to set up a channel. Level 10 now available for both teams, but look at the delay by Chuggy. Dakiel makes his way in, unable to get the delay, and they will get the shots. Here comes Funds from the other side. Dragon Arrow, they look to turn for some kills. Divine Shield has to be used by Uther, and that's going to force the retreat. They hold the line. This is Forge Esports picking up another kill on the board. And they're going to try and use this to pressure bot lane. Blaze rotates out, begins to split soak. Push comes in. We have the growing infestation. We already saw that. This is to prevent people from getting out as easy. Massive shove for disengage. In case stuff goes bad. And also to push people into the death zone for memes. Always welcome. Fun's going to clear up as best he can. Zul has a little bit of a faster clear speed. That's why his split soak is getting a little bit more value here. As Dakiel goes in, torn onto Uther, but decided to not come out in time. There goes Massive Shove, sending Johanna away. With the Archon burned, looks like they might try and go onto Unaverted. Where's the taunt? Where's the taunt? Blessed Shield shuts down the taunt. No taunt for Dakiel. Sylve does go down though, but Showtime drops very low. No, Dakiel dives onto Tastar. Picks up that kill is dead. They're looking for Weary Day to make this a 3-for-0. But Weary Day with the speed boost from the Pursuit of Justice shuts it down. But they get a double kill out of that. Despite looking like it would be a turnaround several times, Dakiel ignores his backline and just goes deep instead as they pick up the kills. They're going to grab and steal away the Sapper Camp. And they're going to put pressure onto bot lane. This will take out 1.5 towers. That is good pressure for them. Meantime, Blaze again makes his way up for the soak. By the way, it's exactly what we talked about in game number 1. The fact that Varian does have a little bit of trouble with multiple man crowd control. Channel comes in. Looks like we're just going to see a 1-for-1, although the delay is coming in here. Shots already taken. Core dropped to 24. Shots coming in. Bunker. Zul goes down. Funds. Focus down. T-Tours, by the way. I was having a look at the mini-map for bot lane. As Unaverted was getting focused here. His level 13 is hit for both teams. Unaverted dropped low. Looks like they'll finally get their channel. Sylve will interrupt one more time. Task gets out. He went for the Shadow Walk for sustain. Sappers make their way in. And here come the shots. That brings us down to 32. Caster needs a sub at this rate. Shots coming in. Bot continuously pressured. Forge, even though they are losing on core health, they have continued this pressure in bot lane all game. And they are slowly working their way through that front wall. Same can be said, though, down on the other side. But they're holding in for it for now. Pressure is applied as best they can. It is a shattering throw, of course. And Dakiel goes deep. Shattering throw immediately kills the Iron Skin. They've been a little closer. If Tastar hadn't got those sowing auto attacks, they could have got it. Instead, they're going to taunt Dragon Arrow, but Sylve gets out with the cleanse from Uther. And a protection value. Unaverted. In full retreat. We've got to go fast. Got to run. And in the meantime, Zul's push in top lane is just getting more and more value. You can see the absolute devastation on this bell tower, down to half health. And Dakiel uses Carbon as escape route. Bless Shield comes out, though. Taunt onto Johanna, but no one's following up. The charge comes out, doesn't land. They have to Bless Shield. Uses that Bless Shield to run through the Lurking Arm. And that gets them all out of here. Zazariel's dropped down to half health by the shock ray of Unaverted, who's up to 160 stacks as the double Alter Phase spawns up in this upper lane. Both teams positioning. Not moving in yet. They want to get maximum XP here. They need to get themselves close to 16. Unlikely to happen in this fight, but they want to make sure they're at least as close as they can be for afterwards. They are going to contest this. Going to look for the double, and they're looking for Zool up here. Cookie Man focused down, taunt, lurking arm, body blocks are gorgeous here. Johanna comes in for the save. It's not enough, but in the meantime, Uther did sneak the channel, making this another 4 for 4. Dragon Arrow comes out, charge onto the Sylvanas, who is pumped here. Unaverted in full retreat, Weary Day speed boost, but not enough to save Tass, as Tass is blasted. Unaverted taken off the map. Chuggy ports back to base, and that just leaves Weary Day to hold this down. Nothing he can do, though, because this is just going to be a boss taken. Weary Day rotates up to top lane. That was actually risky. If someone had been in that bush, they maybe could have popped him. Instead, they just take the shots, bring the core count from 36 to 24 to 24 versus 20 to 20 versus 24. Who's that raid from? It's Kelsia. Thank you very much for the raid. Welcome to the stream. As we do see the focus coming in. That was actually that raid was disguised because it was hidden in amongst the boss sound effect. Focus onto the Greymane. He's out of position, but does he have disengage? He might be able to escape. The root comes out. He's doomed. Down goes Greymane. Good pickup for Quaranteam. Welcome viewers of Kelsia. Brace coming down into the bot lane looking for Carbon, but Carbon, Wraith walks out. Keeping it safe with 16 available for both teams. It's Benediction. It is, of course, weakened with this full tank Zool build. Tentacule goes deep, lurking arm, whale it with the Dragon Arrow coming in. But Johanna chases deep. Shockwave picks them up and blows up Hanzo and Varian. Valimar is leaving. No way here. Bunker down in top lane. Still weird how that icon on the mini, that's the icon for it on the mini-map. He wins the 1v1 versus Zool. Funds now has to deal with the fact that he has a bell tower down, and he is in serious trouble now. Weeders, thank you for the 69 bits. Valamar's going to try and channel this. Is Johanna going to go for the interrupt? No, Johanna has to deal with the fact that Funds is interrupting unaverted. Weeders with 369s. Thank you very much. Shots coming in, though, 16 to 20. Sylv is racing down bot lane. Here comes Cursed Bullet that will force the back out here. Bell Tower survives, but not by much. Unaverted will finally get the channel. Funds looked for one more interrupt, could not find it. 12 health to 20. They hold down. Bot lane is now in trouble. It's going to be reclaimed. And with the side of Forge, Esports Bell Tower looking already a little sketchy. They might be able to pick that up. Funds blasting their way through top lane, finishing that off. Level 20, about a level away for both teams. Root, silence, showtime, rolling away, but here comes the Zool Root. Massive shove to try and get him out, but Carbon dies in for the side. But Curse Bullet is dropped off at the last chance, but we're able to top heal. Blaze not here. It's a 4v, it's a 5 versus 3, in fact. Going to be forced them to back away. And finally, Quaranteam are the ones who are beginning to go for this pick style, and it is turning in their favor. They're beginning to extend a lead here as they are looking to catch up in experience. They're going to be able to grab bottom altar here. Bottom bell tower will go in their favor. They charge the Chuggy. Don't go too deep. They don't have everyone here. They don't have enough to go for their full dive. Massive shove does not land. Weary Day is deep. The altar is disabled, meaning they do not have it to assist them here. It's just a 4v4 fight as they chase down. Dragon Arrow comes out. The Divine Shield has to be popped as Unaverted is going to try and turn this round, but the bell tower will force them to back away. Altar spawning in middle lane. Zool looking to reclaim top with his army of minions here. These minions, I think, will actually take this bell tower, meaning it's just going to have to be a 5v5 while fighting over 2 shots for Forge, whereas Quaranteam will be fighting over 6 shots. Tentacule doing the camp with Funds. Here comes the invade. Zool from above. Sylvanas from below. Camp was taken by Quaranteam. They couldn't afford the fight. Tentacule dropping low. Here comes Zool from the back. Valimar is going to be rooted. Massive shove. Doesn't go very far. They're trying to focus down to Chuggy, but the Wailing Arrow comes out, and Carbon from the side is carrying this fight. Funds dives into the back line. He's going to pick up Unaverted, but he's going to be focused down and finished off as Cookie Man holds the line, gets the channel. That's 5 shots. Top lane lived, but they're still alive. 7 health health left on the core. Boss up in 50 seconds. Bot lane is in trouble. Sappers on the way. Only one survived, which will bring him down to 6. As they make their way in. Sapper. Another 2 Sappers making it. I guess there was all 3 Sappers. They were just super split. 6 health on the core. Let's make it 4. And suddenly, that boss is lethal. 24 seconds. It's about the time everyone on 4G Esports needs to respawn. This is going to be a tough game to win. In fact, this just might be game over right now. They should really just be trying to recapture bot lane at this point. They can't afford to defend this. They have to just clear bot lane as best they can. Zul, he knows this. He knows this is their saving grace because second mid goes down. They're on a timer. Here comes everyone already respawning. Boss is up. Here's shot 1. They have to take mid. They have to take mid or bot. Bot lane is where everyone's here. They have to go. Shot 2 comes in. They've got about 20 seconds, but they're not doing anything. Bless Shield. Delay comes out. Quaranteam wins. That's guaranteed. No way for the defense. And congratulations to Quaranteam. They're taking us to a game number 3. Final shot comes out. Final team fight. Not going in the favor. The Zul Uther. The sustain and delay tactics coming out from Quaranteam to prevent the variant composition from blowing them up as they had seen in game number 1 on the first series. Beautifully smart. Good scouting, in fact. And Quaranteam, well-deserved game number 2, taking us to a game number 3. The series isn't over yet. Well then, having a look at some of these stats. Zul with the 181,000 siege damage. Funds keeping up as best he can, 139. But once again, the clear speed of Zul, Cookie Man, so much faster, even with this tank-based build. Just able to clean up so quickly. Tassadar, top hero damage in the game. The burst output was insane. We can have a look at the build here. He went for the static charge. He actually went for Psionic Echo instead of the auto attacks here. This is a bigger commitment to actually landing those shock rays, but overall it's higher damage output because you guarantee you're hitting the right target with your Psy Storms, so it works out a little bit better. And with Electric Fence, he was getting massive group ups of the enemy team. Was a cool idea here. That 35% slow also is nothing to joke about. Traps people with Zul, which means Zul gets maximum DPS output. Very sensible. Still with the standard build as well, going for Might of the Banshee Queen combined with the Lost Soul. This is the standard, although we do see Festering Wounds on this tier at some points as well, because both of them are insane DPS output. Then you go for the Remorselessness and the Evasive Fire for maximum mobility, but these can be swapped out depending on enemy talents and enemy heroes. Alrighty. Game number 3 is going to be on the cards. Let's see if our bracket's been updated at any point. It has not, so we don't have anything unless I just need to refresh it. It's supposed to refresh when I started, but it doesn't always. Nope, it just hasn't been updated. Alrighty. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be getting ready to head into game number 3 once we have it. And prepare to get this rolling. Feels good. Congratulations so far to both these teams putting on such an incredible performance. If you're enjoying it, please be sure to support NGS by checking out the Patreon and supporting the prize pool for Storm Division by hitting !matcherino in chat. Or you can support me, your caster, Tetcher, for the evening by dropping a subscription, a donation, some bits, checking out my merchandise, or checking out the store below this stream. Thank you all very much for your support so far throughout the stream. Again, we just thank you for the 3 times 69 bits for your support. It is all incredibly appreciated. Every little bit helps. The streaming life is hard. It's really rough to deal with sometimes, and some days it is really rough to focus and carry on. But we gotta do what we can, and every bit of support is really important. You like my shirt, Enigmatic Lunara? I like it too. Brian W. Foster is king. Feels good. Alrighty, we have a lobby. Let me mark down the map. Nice. And this was chosen by, looks like Team 2. Quaranteam picked the map by this point. Nice shirt indeed. Thank you, Roll6 to crit. Alright, let's have a look at our map. We are heading for the final game of tonight. We are going to be heading to Battlefield of Eternity. It is 1-1 in this best of 3 series. And we will see who will be able to claim victory and move on in their race to Qualifier. for the Nexus Gaming Series Storm Division. We're just wait. All the players are in. We're just waiting for the readies from the players. And we will get this started. There's a ready from one. See if we can get a ready from the other. And we will be good to go. I'll give him a caster R just in case. We need a ready from the side. We need 1 minute. Okay, they need a minute. All right, we good. Quaranteam asking for 1 minute, and then we'll be good to go, hopefully. Again, if you're enjoying the show, consider supporting your local caster, whether it's me, whether it's someone else. Continue to support them so that we can keep doing this. I'm not as lucky as someone like Baha to have Heroes Half on his side who are keeping him supported to do all the stuff over there. So any bit of support is very appreciated. Alrighty, we got it ready. We're going to be getting ready to jump into Battlefield of Eternity as our third map of the day. Let's get this going. Excuse me, I died. Let's go. So, this is going to be Forge Esports, a first pick, first ban, as this was the map choice of Quaranteam. Let's see how Forge Esports can get this rolling. They have the first ban of this final game in the series. Where are we going? It's gonna be... Come on, take your time. You can do it. Alright, we got the Sylv. Sylv gonna be banned out first. Love Brian, he's pretty great. Wholecasters, though. It's really amazing people there, I swear. Absolutely, they are very entertaining. But I am incredibly jealous of Brian W. Foster because his wit and sense of humor just absolutely murders me, and I just love it. Alrighty then. Cassia banned out by Quaranteam. Very assassin-focused here. We've seen Mei banned out in one of our games, and it hasn't been picked at all yet, which is very interesting. Very mixed priorities here, as we see Ana banned out. This is Battlefield. Battlefield is actually an acceptable Abathur map. People seem to forget this, but the fact you spend so long in mid lane means Abathur actually gets quite a lot of value. We'll see if that's where we end up going. Final ban of this first rotation. Quaranteam. Mei's on the line. Tass is on the line. ETC. Vala. They're going to ban Garrosh, actually. They don't ban they ban a tank, but not Mei. Interesting. Forge Esports now. What are we seeing from them? I'm trying to remember if I have any Critical Role shirts, Critical Role emotes right now. Yep. Boop. There we go. Alrighty, Forge Esports. They pick Li Ming first. Go for the race heroes on Battlefield. But there's still Greymane, there's Vala, there's... who else is there for race, actually? Who am I missing? There's Hanzo. Lunara's always decent. There's a lot of good options here. Quaranteam. ETC. Oh, how did I miss Raider? I forgot Raider existed. It's like 2018 all over again. Reyna is picked up. Good race potential, of course, with that Exterminator. Very long range, meaning he can actually make his way onto the point and stay very safely right on the edge of it. Nice and sensible. So, Forge Esports. They pick up the Greymane, and we finally see the Mei. She makes it in for Forge Esports. That's a lot of disruption, a lot of zoning for ETC. Slows for late game Greymane. Executioner will be value there. Lots of potential. Now, Quaranteam. What do we see for them? They ban the Urel, removing that solo lane potential. Irel is good. Not the best racer, but she has a significant amount of power and disruption in the lane, and combined with Mei, knocking people into that blizzard is where you can start to really just lose games. It's a sensible ban. Makes a lot of sense. Countered, Deckard Cain going to be removed here. Now then. Deckard removed. Anna's taken away. This really jumps up Stukov. Rhaegar on this map is fantastic for race potential. They're going to pick Uther again, and they bring Maiev out. That's interesting, and here's where the fun part is. They could run Uther off lane. There's the Arthas insta-picked here. They're going Team Ice. Someone ping Jinxie. As we have Li Ming and Greymane. Will Forge Esports be best in snow? Yeah, that's right, Jinxie. I'm stealing your jokes. And final pickup is Lucio. Also going with a Frost-themed skin, at least. Running with the blues. And Phoenix. Going for the full wombo combo. This is a potential Mosh Storm Cage Salvo game. Lot of wombo potential coming in here. This is solo Phoenix, I think, or solo Maiev. Phoenix would make a lot more sense because he's going to have a better lane into Arthas. So that's where I'll probably lean if I had to make a prediction as to which lane everyone was going into. Alrighty. Fun drafts for both these teams. Both these teams going a little bit off standard as we're preparing for game number 3. This is the final game of the day. And once again, as a reminder for everybody, this will be this will choose who goes into the semi-finals bracket. Still not up to date, but the winner of this will go on to play against the winner of CPOG X Fan Club versus We Take These, and they will move on to the next round. Team Alexander Fan Club, though, thank you for actually putting in your results. They have made their way through to the semi-finals. They are playing against the winner of Regen, who are versus the winner of He's Literally One and Hot Potato. We have the game up and running. Let's get this rolling, ladies and gentlemen. On the right-hand side, it is going to be Quaranteam with Chuggy on ETC, Weary Day on Uther, Unaverted on the Raider. We have Maiev played by Carbon, and it's Phoenix played by Cookie Man. Whereas on the left-hand side, is that a double lane? Cheeky. On the left-hand side, it's Forge Esports with Funds on the Uther with basic skin and basic lizard. Big oof. We're going to see Valimar on the Lucio, Showtime on the Greymane, hiding a Tempo Storm Spray under the gate, Azariel on the Li Ming, and Tenidakiel is going to be playing the Mei. The 2v1 turns into a 3v2 as they look for Cookie Man, but here comes Carbon, Tether, and Valimar is pumped. He went too deep to try and finish Cookie Man and ran into Carbon instead. Carbon picking up the Tether, and First Blood goes over to the side of Quaranteam as they're looking for a second as well. Iceblock has to be used. Nowhere to run. Double kill at the start of the game coming in for Quaranteam, and the kill count sets up to 2-0. We are seeing this double lane. Showtime staying up here. It's going to be Funds and Showtime versus Cookie Man and Carbon. Carbon looks like he might finally leave as they pick up Cookie Man. Tether comes in, pulling them into tower range. Showtime takes a lot of damage. Both towers actually shooting out the pings. This has been so intense, we haven't even had a chance to look at level 1 talents yet. Let's have a look and do that. Mei starting off with the heat transfer, standard stuff here. We have the Aether Walker, Viciousness for the Greymane. We're going to see the Rhyme for the Arthas, going for maximum solo lane sustain style. Accelerando on the Lucio. Brawl over bot lane. On the other side, it is once again Hammer the Lightbringer. It's the go-to talent. It's just really, really good. Mobile offense, best for the solo lane. Maximum harass potential. Carbon low. Carbon with a nice memento. Block party to try and deal with Greymane. Very sensible here. And we already mentioned the Exterminator for race. Look for Showtime. And they go to start working on the siege. It was a 1-for-1. Right now, the lanes are just swapping right now. Now there's 3 people in top lane. Just add 1 to that prequel meme. Valimar, Precious, Cookie Man. Trying to do what he can. Finally, people will pull back and rotate. Weary Day's going to start on the Mercenary camp. He's doing this not just for early Mercenaries, but also because it offers him more stacks of his Hammer of the Lightbringer. Burning through that. Might have to pull after this. Mercenary camp again, early for Forge Esports as well. The objective hasn't even started to tick yet, but both teams grabbing their Shaman camp early. Level 4 is available for both teams. Triumphate. It's an Aether Walker, by the way, for maximum poke potential and mobility around the map. Once you have Illusionist, you're actually faster than Mounted. They look for Raider. They don't get Raider, but they find Uther. Weary Day focused down. He drops the armor on himself with the heal, but a root from Arthas. Fantastic rope from Funds. They pick up the kill. In the meantime, top lane's freaking dead. I was about to swear I can't remember how to do that on NGS. They blast their way through the towers. Root onto Phoenix. They slow him with Arthas. They're going deep. Booped by Lucio. And Cookie Man is going in the biscuit tin. Azariel backs up. And they're able to stay alive. Camp's cleared, but the front wall got absolutely bodied. But they're going to start to take a lead onto the objective because they have the better positioning. Reyna got a lot of race and is still continuing to do so because he's uncontested. Very good job up here. He will lose the race because he's outnumbered. It's a lot of damage onto Valimar. He'll be forced to jump away. Karma gets rooted. And it's pretty close, actually. 300 health in it. Neither team is that close to level 7. Best position sets up. Greymane goes for the race. They begin to move in. They look for Carbon. Funds. Tries to pressure out of Vertip, but gets knocked away. Carbon over the wall is going to escape, and they're just flanking. And they're trying to get the Concave onto Forge Esports to shut down the defense here. Race is coming in. Greymane's trying to do this, though. He's trying to add damage for here as well as team delays. Tenidakiel is trying to hold. The kills come in, and they actually won it. Even with the full team delay, they pick up the double kill and get the Immortal. This is huge for Quaranteam. They're going to be pushing into this bot lane. It has been damaged. Not too much, but it has been damaged. And they're about to hit level 7. Ready to make their way in. Arthas did go for the Frozen Waste. Got a couple stacks in that fight. Not enough to set up, though. We have the Unstable Compound for Raider. We have Divert Power Weapons. Target acquired. Standard stuff for a Phoenix. EDC Hammer on. Better race potential. Loon's Wrath. Smurf on a rocket. Thank you very much for the follow. Immortal has already been focused down, but that's half the health on the fort eliminated. And that left Arthas up in top lane to deal with Phoenix, who's able to out-sustain him thanks to the shield. They trade out efficiently. Dakiel throws down the Blizzard. Ice Block buys time. They're going to try and take out Unaverted, but Unaverted is in a good position here. Chuggy waiting for his chance to strike. Here comes the tether. 3-man tether into a 1-man power slide, trying to get it, but the Blizzard again zones them away and allows him to focus onto Chuggy, but it's not enough. Weary Day finds the sun into Lucio, but it's not going to be enough to actually finish anyone off. Low health bars on the side of Forge Esports, though. Valamar's doing his best, but he's just Lucio. He's gone for good vibrations, by the way, giving himself a shield. He needs some self-protection. Tether comes out. Ice Block will shut that down. The Cryostasis from May, getting a lot of work this game. In the meantime, Arthas is still having a really bad day. It's just not an easy lane for him. There's an argument of going Q build here, but just having the rest of your team roam is more value. Seeker, Li Ming, full race here. Going more single target damage for the Immortal. This is also comboed very well with Aetherwalker. 10% bonus damage on each missile combined with Seeker means your single target damage absolutely chunks. Carbon is deep. Tether onto Azariel, who dives away. Root comes in as Arthas goes up to the back line. Going to try and focus down Weary Day and pick him off easily. Nicely done. Carbon wraps around the bottom. Will make his way back to base. Healed up by Uther. Looks for another Tether. Doesn't get it, but does get a reset on the swipe. Fan of Knives value. Cookie Man continues to pressure, and Funds comes back here, and he's probably getting some super PTSD right now. This has got to be annoying. Cookie Man just teleports away. Chase onto Chuggy. Camp is being taken. No mirror on the side of Forge. They're instead going to try and get early race potential. As they begin to focus down the Immortal. Roll away by Showtime. Keeps alive. All good. No problem. Stun on Tenidakiel. Will back up. He's fine. Nothing too aggressive. He's being very patient here. They're just trying to siege. Tenidakiel is very far up. He is managing. In the meantime, though, Unaverted is again uncontested. He has his Banshee with level 10 advantage. He's just going to race this super hard. Everyone else is zoned out beautifully. Garber comes in. Tether, Showtime's doomed. That is the halftime show and a kill. And again, Quaranteam are beginning to snowball a lead here. Unaverted burns his way through. Stuns on Funds. Chuggy zoned away. They're going to run onto the Immortal, race it down. They'll win the race. But a lot of the shield is taken off. Good attempt coming in from Forge Esports. This will to protect them a little bit. It's going to be coming into the bot lane. Top lane is still being pressured, though. Level 10 is available. We, of course, have the Ice Wall because the Avalanche is still banned. Zendakio Blizzard to zone. Valamar dodges easily, but he is still in a rough position. Has to kick off. Oh, the bait is good. I don't know what the rules are about sprays, but that is awesome. We see the focus onto Azariel. Begins to focus it down. Chuggy, power slide onto onto Showtime. Showtime gets the sound barrier. Divine shield on the Maiev. They try to chase down. Maier's getting reset after reset. Have to burn the stasis. Tenadakiel's in trouble. He's in trouble. He's turning it round though with the Blizzard. And they're gonna be able to get out. Everyone gets out. Carbon is low. Arthas coming in for the gag. They're going to run past the Immortal because the towers will finish it off. They're going to try and pick up a kill, but everyone is focusing a different target. They finally got Raider. Now it's Weary Day, but with the Pursuit of Justice, he will pick up the kill. Immortal dies to get the front wall of the tier 2s, but in the meantime, Cookie Man was soaking this out, and it's going to get his team level 12 first. Not level 13 yet. Plenty of time. Forge Esports, they're going to feel bad. That was a turnaround, but only one kill there isn't going to be as appealing as they would like. That's not going to feel best for them. Cookie Man doing a Merc Camp. He'll be able to finish this without losing his shield. Very nicely done. Arthur's Funds continuing to not live up to his name in this game. He is not having fun because he's getting absolutely bullied. Draft-wise, Quaranteam have this under control. Forge are just looking to try and execute the burst they have. Tenadakiel getting pressured by Maiev. Here comes the wraparound, and Chuggy sees it. Mosh Pit up in 17 seconds. They're going to dive forward. Ice Wall finds Maiev, but look at the positioning. They can't find anyone else. They're going to try and go for Cookie Man, but all that's going to happen is Funds is actually going to be put in lethal range. He has to drop a root. ETC is coming. Funds is in serious trouble. He has to ghouls. And that feels bad. Azariel, he blinks the tether, able to dodge out the way. There's the mosh pit, and Greymane jumps in. It's the holy cow. Here comes the salvo, and Showtime is gonna survive, but dropped so low, and Arthas has to give his life for it. Showtime is out at the skin of his teeth. Valamar boops away, but that is another extension of the lead by Quaranteam. And they have their level 16s now, their level 30s now, sorry, debilitating rounds. Well met. Dampening Fields, the usual talent these days. Mic check and bladed armor. And now the race. The race comes in. They got Raynor, and now they have everyone else here as well. As Forge Esports, Arthas is just respawning. They're going to make their way in. But in the meantime, their tier 2s are being pressured as Fallen Shamans. They're going to try and make their way forward to try and defend. Big stun. So much CC onto Tenadakiel. They blind Raider. They Ice Wall Raider, and that actually completely blocks Azariel. Can they land the shots though? Seeker does good damage, but not enough. Mosh Pit in 60 seconds, 1 minute. Cookie Man is very separate from the team. Level 13's about to hit. Cookie Man trying to teleport away. They're going to find him, but they're giving up the Immortal for this kill. They go for the throat. The Immortal halftime show in exchange for Raider. Not Raider, sorry, for Greymane. They look for Raynor. Not able to pick up the kill. They have to defend now. Arthas is dealing with the Fallen Shaman. He has to do this. Greymane's going to try and race, which means it's a 3v4 to try and delay this objective. Quaranteam, they just back up. They just back up. They split clear. They clear the lane, and they make their way back in. Zoning comes out from May. Lands the Blizzard. Carbon chased down by Funds. Funds stunned out. Mosh Pit in 12 seconds. Level 13 finally on the board. We have the Illusionist. Azariel is now one of the most mobile heroes in the game. Stun into Tenadakiel. Zones him away. Arthas has the Polar Vortex. That's a big extra bit of damage, which will help a lot. They move forward. The ghouls have to be used. Funds getting dropped here. He takes so much damage. The focus. Cookie Man gets caught in the ice wall, but it's too late to save Arthas. They look for a turnaround with Arthas already down. Carbon is getting bullied by the ghouls, but he's tanking through, and they get zoned away. Mosh Pit wasn't even used there. They will, however, win the Immortal. Forge finally able to take an Immortal in their favor. Valimar dodges away. Good job, Showtime, with the counter race there. But what are they going to do with this? This Immortal is going into a basically full health top lane with 5-man defense. No one pushing Wivix. They're a member down. This is Forge Esports just giving up this Immortal to try and make something happen elsewhere. Bot lane is where they choose to try and make something happen. They push in. They'll grab some towers. Funds will continue to have a bad time. God, this feels mean. He has a little bit of extra damage now on Polar Vortex, but he cannot win that fight. He just doesn't. They're forced to back up. They grab 2 towers and a gate. They're finally going to look for Cookie Man. Roots off cooldown, but he sidesteps with the speed boost. Funds is gone. Benediction for the double stun. This Arthas is just having such a rough game. The Phoenix was such a clutch final pick. I think he really expected Carvin to be in that off lane, but he was absolutely bamboozled. As level 16 is hit here, we're going to be seeing the offensive cadence percentage damage, even more bullying onto Arthas. May comes in, focus down, offensive cadence for the bully. Tentadakiel is absolutely destroyed. Mosh Pit to catch him coming out of the cryostasis. They pick up the kill. We have the imposing presence for slows. We already saw the benediction. Paint them red, and the armored assault. This is very bad for Forge. Forge dive Cookie Man. Looking for the kill, but Cookie Man tanks through again. Arthas finally finishes his level 4 Frozen Waste, but he cannot go further. They're getting pressured. Funds. Focus down, percentage damage. This is Phoenix. He actually blinks out. He was a little low. Doesn't want to become a reset for Azariel. They can't do it. Keep goes down. And this is Quaranteam, extending their lead, looking to try and make a case for themselves in the semi-finals. They blast through the Immortal, going to hit the halftime stroke easily. They could maybe even steal this, they could maybe, if they wanted to, try and steal this camp. That's how far ahead they are. Level 16, though, finally on the board for Forge Esports. We have the Mirror Ball. We have Acclamation. We have Executioner. We have Remorseless Winter. Shattered Armor coming in for Arthas. We have Polar Vortex, we have Shattered Armor, all the talents are all over the place, icons are the same. But Arthas, he's going to try and take it. He's going to try and pick off Uther early. It doesn't matter that he'll heal, you got to get someone. Tentadakiel, he was able to stun out. Cookie Man forces him to back up. Mosh Pit up in 21 seconds. Ice Wall does not land. They're looking for their chance. It is a Rejuvenescia game for Lucio. He's got to keep everyone topped up. Remember, they don't have Greymane here, but they don't need it. They get the kill onto Cookie Man. They chase down. Divine Shield has to be burnt. They're looking for the Joggy, who has got 5 seconds for Mosh Pit, but it doesn't matter. Seeker picks him down. He's still alive. Finally gets him in the orb as they turn it around. Funds is holding on for dear life. They pick up Weary Day, and finally, Forge Esports take another fight. They grab the Immortal, and now they really need to deal with top lane. 3 Katas are coming into it. There's a huge minion wave in bot lane to clear up as well, but they win another fight. That's 2 in a row for Forge Esports, and this time they can actually go with the Immortal. They can actually join it with their push, and they're going to do so. Funds is going to clear this up. You can dodge those catapult hits, my friend. He will clear that up as they make their way in. Tentadakiel taking 4 shots, just going to cryostasis it. He might regret this. Icewall comes out. They're looking for Cookie Man. They have to kill Cookie Man to make this work. They focus and they interrupt the teleport. They got Cookie Man, picking him off. Tentacle dashes out. Carbon tethers in. Moshpit is available. Remember, for Shogi, they could try and turn this round as they dive forward. The Immortal is already into melee mode. Funds from over the wall. Roots onto ETC. If they can kill him before Mosh comes off for the second time, that would be huge. But he power slides away. They're holding through, looking for their first keep. Just under half health on the Immortal, but Unaverted is melting it. But the keep is dying very fast as well. They are rushing it. Root from Funds again, keeping ETC away. The keep is so low, but Carbon can't find the tether, and they can't find the push. The zoning of Unaverted off Carbon, off Chuggy is enough, but they find Chuggy. They're going to try and look to pick him up, but they can't do it. Carbon wrapping round. He's looking for showtime. Good boot from Valimar. May just keep his team in this game. Tether is available, and you can see he's trying to pick it up. Azariel, he's so fast now. If he can get that Aether Walker up, he can easily outrun, and he's able to do so. They mount up and get another save by Lucio, and they hold it in. This is crazy right now. Forge Esports holding up by the skin of their teeth right now, keeping themselves in this game. They refuse to go down. They have lost to the team that won the qualifier. Both qualifiers up to this point. In round 1 in Cup 1, in round 2 in Cup 1, in round 1 in Cup 2. They're at round 2 again. As far as they've ever got, they do not want to go down again. But Quaranteam, looking to shut them down, wanting to live up to the tradition of the team that takes the Forge, takes the Cup, as they will position themselves to clear out this Impaler camp. Impalers in the top lane with 2 catapults will have to be dealt with, and that is the movement of Forge Esports, backing away from the fights. They begin to clean up. Deal with the Bruiser. Fallen Shaman to de-push bot lane. They clear out top lane, Funds and Azariel. They're not actually all full health. They could probably use some help. Remember, it only takes 3 Seeker shots to guarantee a stack of Seeker here. That is what Azariel's making the most of. Funds makes his way up. Immortal gonna hit the halftime show very quickly. Quaranteam making the most of their advantage because they have that level 20 advantage here. We have the AoE Divide Shield with Torbus. And Chuggy, he's looking for his angle. Arthas finds it from the side. They want to kill off ETC. If they can kill him off before the objective again, this could be huge. But look at Cookie Man, the bully, onto May. But May survives. Tenadakiel backs out. Cryo States keeps him alive. There's level 20 for them as well. Blunderbuss, Legion of Northrend, an extra 2,000 health if he gets every single one off. May is holding. Needs either Shatter or the Insta-Ice, but the Insta-Stasis. Chuggy moves in. We'll see what they pick. Lucio went for the house party. Core's taking damage. Greymane was not here for this. He was dealing with the fact that there are still 2 catapults, actually. He just knows he's needed. They're going to try and take a fight and just hope that their minions will stop the catapults from ending the game because they are on the core. Minion Wave will have to deal with this. They're actually going to send Funds. No, they're just going to wait. Minion Wave will deal with this, but there's another catapult coming. This pressure will continue. They're going to hold this. Good damage onto Tenadakiel. Blizzard stops Chuggy from finding position. Both teams are very split, trying to find the concave on the other. Tenadakiel taking a little bit of damage from Reyna. Cookie Man from the side. Catapults. Seekers coming in for damage onto Cookie Man, trying to drop that shield. Tenadakiel healed up by Lucio. The house party is good. Top lane continuing to be pressured. Carbon being denied by the Immortal here, and they know he's there because that stun does not appear in there. Without that, Ice Wall does not land. Tenadakiel dropped down to half health, in trouble. Carbon comes in from the side. VXD man, thank you very much for the follow as they move forward. Funds trying to find his angle. Torbus interrupted by the wave of force. They dive forward. Water's Cage comes down for the turnaround, but ETC is the only one to fall in this fight as the Divine Shield only hits Maiev as they push forward. Cookie Man, he teleports out, keeps it going. They dive forward. Showtime is deep for Cookie Man. The shield comes out as they're able to stay alive, but there's now 2 catapults about to hit the core. Someone needs to go back, but they're going to get the Immortal. They're gonna get this. Cookie Man with no health survives this. Stunned by the Immortal. Valamar's in trouble. They only got 1 kill in this fight. Valimar is picked off in this fight. Carbon with a multi-man tether. Cookie Man from the flank. Tenadakiel's in trouble. Showtime is picked himself, but he gets Cookie Man on the way out, making this trade. That might have just saved them this game as they're forced to back up. The Immortal stands. They dive forward. Pterodactyl to hold. Azario with the knockback from the wave of force, but Pterodactyl is taken out. Funz dives deep for unaverted to pick him off, and they will get him as Azario is trapped. He's chased by Carbon. He makes it over the wall to get out as Funz is chasing down, and Carbon picks up the kill. Wave of force unable to take it out. Funz is all alone versus Quaranteam to hold the line, the tether. He holds it to avoid the damage. He's tanking through. He's doing everything he can. The cleanse comes out. The Immortal knockback. Funz. He's holding 10 seconds until his ult. He backs away, but Carbon picks up the kill. The healing of Uther holds him together. As Chachuggy comes back, they are able to rush down the Immortal, and this will be going in straight for the core. Lucio will be back. Greymane will be back. Mei will be back. Li Ming will be back a little late, but Arthas will not be available. But neither, importantly, will Uther. The catapults are going to clear out. Valimar picks them off. The Immortal, with a third shield, is going to be making its way into the top lane. So where do we see pressure from Quaranteam? They go bot lane. Making the most. Stun. They're going to try and kill off Mei early. One-man mosh pit. Ice Wall buys time, though. Wave of force. Pterodactyl lives. That is a big deal. Greymane is one-manning the Immortal. They're trying to get the split focus, but Immortal has such a big shield. They need help. Li Ming comes in with the Seekers. Immortal shield is down. Arthas respawns. Catapults on the way, and Quaranteam bottle it. They back away. The Immortal is now coming. It's Funz. You can do it. We believe in you, but no. Quaranteam back away. The Immortal goes down. Only 19% off the core. This is one of the best games of Heroes of the Storm I have cast in years, as Quaranteam make their way for their Bruiser camp or for the Siege camp. Which do they choose? They choose both. Gonna send Phoenix up there. Fallen Shaman camp gonna be taken by Forge Esports as well. Quaranteam gonna grab their Fallen Shaman, which will help them de-push bot lane. It's gonna be a double camp top lane coming in from Quaranteam as Forge Esports survive. Not yet the objective, so there's still a little bit of time. Rotation interruption set up, no one is found. But they're trying to wrap around. They're going to try and make the play of this. Pterodactyl knows. They see the Banshee, so they know this is happening. Pterodactyl is already getting dropped in. Chuggy going to come in. Remember, this is a tour bus ETC. 17 seconds till Mosh Pit, though. They pick off Pterodactyl way before anything could be turned around. 3 Impalers still left. 1 Catapult still with this. No Shaman. The objective is spawning. Fallen Shaman in the bot lane is getting quite a bit of value, but the Catapult's going to assist in clearing this up. But now with Mei gone for 50 seconds, they are in serious trouble. Funz. Funz. He checks with his face, but they don't want to try and kill Funz. They don't have everyone here. Raynor and Phoenix on the other side of the map, clearing out the Fallen Shaman. They don't even want to lose this fort. That is a big buffer for them at these late-game Immortals. Halftime show going to be taken 26 seconds before Mei is back. Route onto Weary Day. Mortal Stun doesn't land. Chuggy. He's interrupted. 10-second cooldown on the Mosh. Divine Shield's already burned though, but Ferns, he gets away. Burns his sustain on level 7. That Icebound Fortitude to keep him in this. But the delay there. Halftime show's going to be hit, and Mei respawns. With the bait, they force players off the Immortal, and Mei is back. Pterodactyl on the board. Catapult in the bot lane. Catapults in the top lane. Here I am, fighting over an Immortal. Wave of Force comes out, but they can't catch unaverted. Carbon comes in. They don't land the root. Chachuggy comes in. Mosh Pit still available. They get him. Try and focus him down. Greymane has been picked off by Phoenix. Rushed down to the bottom, which means he's not here for this. They're going to try and rush down and pick up a kill. In the meantime, Mosh Pit is available in this fight. Chachuggy, he gets the Mosh Pit, tries to kill off Arthas, gets it. Two-man Mosh on the side. There's the salvo, and let's just call it GG. As Azariel backs away, and we see Chachuggy with the calm Mosh Pit, picks up the kill, and picks up the win for Quaranteam. Azariel would have to pull off a miracle to save this, but he is completely surrounded, zoned away. He gets good damage, but the core landing multiple roots. Azariel again is going to have to pull off a miracle with the two-man Divine Shield. That is GG, and for the third time, Forge Esports will have to play in the next qualifier. Quaranteam, they will move on to the semi-finals. Congratulations to Quaranteam for their victory. And if tradition is anything to go by, the team that beats Forge Esports takes the qualifier. We'll have to see if that is the case, because Forge Esports, they just made a case for themselves. They just made a case for Quaranteam to become the champions. We'll have to see. Everyone keep your eyes on Quaranteam now. The pressure is all on them. A 27-minute game. One of the best games I have cast in a long time. 14 kills to 20 at the end there. But Quaranteam, despite moments of absolute brilliance and genius by Forge Esports, Quaranteam did have control of that game for the majority of it. They had great control over the map. They had incredible play in the team fights. 138,000 healing for Lucio, but that's not taking into account the armor that Weary Day was able to apply. 89,000 damage for the Phoenix. I think if I'm going to give an MVP in that game, I think I'm going to give it to Cookie Man. Cookie Man in this series put on a beautiful performance, especially on that Phoenix. He was able to take over the solo lane beautifully, able to put on the pressure when it needed to, picked 1v1s exactly when he should. I think Cookie Man for that game gets my MVP. Here are the talents for those who want them. May, busting out the Induce Hibernation, trying to get that damage reduction, and it worked out relatively well. Trying to get the damage reduction, but maybe the armor and the speed against the Reyna might have worked, or against the Phoenix, but in this case, not going to work out in their favor. So many times, if that Shatter had landed, could have been huge if Tenadaki had been able to land that, but there was so much mobility on the side of Quaranteam that they were able to play around that. And also, big shout out to Chachuggy. Tour bus for days. Incredible plays with those mosh pits late game. No words. Just absolutely incredible. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the final game that I am casting for this series and for tonight. I'll take you over the maps that we just witnessed and just saw. Quaranteam taking out Forge Esports in a 2-1 in a belter of a series. So impressive. Forge Esports, I am a new fan because that was beautiful. Very nice play coming in from them, but Quaranteam closing it out in the end. Well played by them. They are one of the favorites to make it into Storm Division. I would not be surprised to see them there. Here is the bracket. Maybe it's updated. Maybe it's not. It's not. But we now know that Quaranteam will be moving on to play against either CPOGX Fan Club or We Take These. We don't know which because the bracket's not updated. There seems to be a theme with every week. But there we go. I'll give it one more refresh just in case it is on my side. In which case I'll retract my complaint. Nope. All right. We don't know who's casting tomorrow, but you will all know who's being casted tomorrow because tomorrow's games are being casted on the official Nexus Gaming Series Twitch channel by the amazingly talented Jinxie Cat. Make sure you head over there and support her during tomorrow's games. thank you all very much for watching. As a reminder, if you enjoyed the show, then consider supporting the volunteers on NGS on their Patreon so that they can keep NGS running. If you enjoyed my casting, then consider, please, a subscription. That was exhausting. A subscription, a donation, bits, anything you can give is appreciated for me to afford my horrible addiction to food and money and to food, money and shelter so that I can afford not to die. It is all very appreciated. Every tiny bit helps. And if you want to support the players who just put on what a performance, then !match arena in chat to contribute to the Storm Division prize pool. And also, the openings up for qualifier number 4 will be open tomorrow. Check out the NGS Discord for more information on that and to enter yourself. There's still, we only have 3 qualified teams and 1 more after this. There's still 4 slots left, 2 qualifiers guaranteed and 2 more from points. So if you want to get in there, get in, sign up with a team and try and earn yourself a share of what is currently $1,000, which will only increase all the way up to December. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to find you someone to raid. Hope you have had a wonderful and enjoyable day with me. Thank you for watching. Again, if you enjoyed, please drop a sub or a donation. I'm going to bed. Thank you all. Have a good night, and I will see you all next time. Bye.